Hello, howdy, and how are you doing? I finally got the courage to actually listen to my previous videos, and in spite of trying to slow down and enunciate, the Alabama just snuck right in there. So I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to try to pretend like I am every woman and can speak Middle America. I speak Southern. I will try to compensate. However, when I get excited, and let me tell you, paper makes me excited, I speak faster and less clear. So we're going to try to overcome that. This morning I wanted to talk to you about how I'm finding my way to grace after the realization of, oh my gosh, how did I get all this stuff? Now, I know how I got all this stuff. I did a lot of emotional shopping, stress shopping, just for the fun of it shopping, because I thought something was pretty shopping, because somebody else had it and I had to have it shopping. You feel me? We've all been there. I did it way in excess. So how am I finding grace? And I'm going to go through that process this morning, while I also show you my Not Just for Boys kit that has come in. I'm going to show you the layouts that I've completed so far this month. And Donna Reynolds, she is a member of the Crafty Low or No Spend group. She's posted a challenge for us to all do the 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. If you've not watched those videos, or if you're not part of Christy's group for 30 days of sketches, I suggest you join, because it's very inspiring. She posts 30 sketches and just welcomes everyone and anyone to participate. It allows us to get as many layouts as we can get done. No one's holding your feet to the fire. You don't have to complete 30, but if you do, who wins? You do. I do. So I'm looking forward to getting 30 layouts completed in September. I've pulled more than 30 kits because when I'm flipping through and I have photos in hands, or in my hand, or I have an idea, I want to be able to flip through my paper kits and choose what I feel is best for that photo. So let's get started. First, I'm going to show you the papers from the Not Just for Boys kit. This is Vicki Boutin Color Study. This paper is called Inspired, and it is gorgeous, front and back. This is Dots and Stripe by Echo Park Black, and it's just a black and white polka dot, and then a black and gray polka dot. Another color study is, this one's called Abstract, and it is just pure fun. Another color study, Mood Board, with the blue and white painterly stripes, and then another abstract artsy piece. I believe this one is also color study. Yay, it is. This one's called Palette, and it does have those paint swipes, and it just goes into an ombre effect. And then this is a wonky dot. Looks like it was done with the end of an eraser or something, because you know they're not all perfectly round. This is Bo Bunny Double Dot Designs, and it's more of a, this has got a polka dot on this side. What am I thinking of here? Kind of a vine and leafy effect. And this is beautiful Simple Vintage Lemon Twist by Simple Stories. This is in very big demand because of the slowdown at the port, and everyone has been held back from getting their kits, but they are coming in now. Beautiful, just beautiful. And then this is from Hello Summer, Reminisce. This is the cut aparts, but wait till I turn it over. That is the showstopper. And the hoarding, paper loving Priscilla wants a lot of these, but I have not ordered any more. I'm trying to hold off on the paper. These are the embellishments that come, and I'm just going to go through these quickly because of the glare. We get these puffy dots from Pebbles. This alpha from Pretty Little Studio. Frames and tabs from Pretty Little Studio. Project Life Flare. Thickers, the details. It's just good for titles. And everything else, I believe, is straight from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club. So I believe these are their proprietary designs. So these are corners, and on the back is a wood grain that you can reuse. This is their stamp design for this month, and there's words and some geometrics that you can use. This is their cut apart. I'm sorry, not cut apart. My brain just went blank. You all know what this is. But for this month, that's that, and also a little personal note. So that's really nice. Next, we have the layouts that I've completed this month. And I'm dancing around trying to find a place to put this. I did not plan this out very well. We're just going to put it in the seat, and I'll come back. All right. So this layout is completed. And this one of my Hotsy Totsy cousin in her Can-Am. And this one, a directional sign from when we were in Hilton Head. This one is not completed. I was working on it when I was in a virtual crop with a friend Friday. I was working on this one. I have not completed it, so I'm going to leave it out on the desk to get that finished. I'm using the Reaching Out for 2 challenges this month by Reaching Out by Jen Hadfield. I'm using it for the Mini Kit Monday and for the Counterfeit Kit Challenge groups. Now we're going to look at, these are the page kits that I've pulled for the 30 days of sketches. And before we flip through those, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing to find my way to grace, because I promised I would do that. The realization of having so much stuff was hard. Getting it all pulled together was time consuming. It was back-breaking. I'm not even going to kid. It was a lot of hard work. But once I got things pulled together, the first order of business was to put things in zones. So paper had to go to one place, die cuts had to go to one place, my dies had to go to one place, stamps to one place, mixed media products, paint had to go to one place, paint brushes to that place, and then my ink to one place, washi, the list just goes on and on. And guess what? This is a small room. I didn't have a lot of places to put things. And I ran out of space very quickly. So my room looks a bit of a disaster. In my opinion, it's a bit of a disaster. Because I still don't have that rhyme and reason for every little thing. And that's what I want. I want everything to have its place and to fit its designated space. And when in the past I've heard people talk about you have to have a designated amount of space, I've listened to the Clutterbug say this, I've listened to Janet on RTS say this, I've listened to other organizers say it, and I think, well, there's always room. Paper doesn't take up that much room. Huh, let me tell you. Yes, it does. It does. Everything takes up space. And obviously paper is what is most important to me. It's what I've kept most of. I've purged a lot because when you're purging in that process, excuse me, first you're going through taking out things you don't like. And that's all well and good. But then when it still doesn't fit the space, you have to go back and start looking at, of all that you have in that space, what do you like least? You like it, but what do you like least? And you have two options. You can purge it, or you can have a spillover. And if you choose to do the spillover, where are you going to store that? Now, I have limited amount of space. We've established that. I do have a small bedroom up here that I can spill over in, but this fall and winter, we already have guests coming, and that little bedroom will be used. So the amount of time that I can use that little bedroom as spillover is also limited. So I started feeling that pressure and the frustration and a little bit of anxiety along with it. I had to take some really deep breaths and talk my way through, and I'm not going to joke, there's been some praying involved as well. I believe in grace. I believe in finding a gentler, softer way to live that is not so harsh and condemning. And it would be way easy to condemn myself through this process. One of the things that my friend was telling me Friday is that she hoped that I would just remember to be kind to myself through this. And one of the things that she says to me is, you haven't used it yet. It doesn't mean that you won't. You simply haven't used it yet. So if it's something I like and I'm holding on to it, not to feel bad about myself because I'm still keeping it. And as we go through this paper stack of paper choices, there are papers in here that are very old. I've held on to them for a long time, and that's okay. They'll possibly get used in September, and that's great. So finding grace for me is looking at the space I have, the type of organization system I have, and saying, this is okay. This is enough. And I can craft. I can do anything I want to. I just have to move around a little differently in this space. I have to get up to go get things because I can't have everything at arm's length in this space. In Alabama, I did have everything at arm's length. That's just not a possibility here. So, moving forward, I'm going to continue to purge, and I'm going to have some spillover, and that is okay. That is completely okay. My burn rate, I'm calling it my burn rate, what I use within a month is more than what I'm getting in kits. So the Not Just for Boys kit club had 8 pieces of paper. I use way more than 8 pieces of paper. Once I get my scrap room kits in, I know I use more than that. So I will be burning at a faster rate than what I'm bringing in with my kit clubs. That's why I don't feel bad at all for continuing the kits. So that's that. Let's start looking at some paper. I'm going to try to remember to keep this in the screen. This is Teresa Collins, and this is the kit that I've put together. Now these are paper kits that I put together about a year and a half ago. Some of the papers are from when Emma's Papery went out of business. So look at that. Isn't that pretty? And when I did one really large order with Emma's Papery, and when that paper came in, I just made kits with it. So some of these are from that process, and some are from 2020 when I lost my brains ordering. And you know, once it starts coming in and you don't know what to do with it or where to put it, I just started making kits. And that was my way of working. That's not the word I want to use. Once again, my brain is blank. I love these colors. Beautiful. That's just how I dealt with it, with the paper coming in, because I was ordering so much. And I made, the budget came into play it was in September of 2020, because my husband, bless his heart, that was a genuine bless his heart. It wasn't the southern snarky way. We had sat down and we're talking about our household budget, and he was going to use the number that I had been spending per month on average. And it was a lot. It was an embarrassing amount. And I looked and I was like, no, we're not doing that. And he was like, well, it's what you're spending. And I'm like, but no, I can't keep this up. So I had a realization in September of 2020 that things had to change. So we cut, no, I take that back. We didn't do it because he refused to be part of that process. He did not want to put me on a budget. I chose to cut my spending in half, which is why I started the Crafty Low or No Spend group. And in January, in earnest, I began spending less on crafted products. But you know what? It was still too much. There was still too much coming in. Oh, I like that. I was smart that day. That was pretty. So, you know, I had to make other adjustments, and then I came up with a goal: use it as it comes in. Where I'm not trying to kill a kit, but use what I receive. So when my kits would come in, I started immediately making. I put scraps with this one. I began making layouts with those kits while I was excited about them. And that's something I had not done until this year. I enjoy that now. I enjoy playing with what comes in right away. However, it wasn't a money issue. It was a space issue. Once I moved and got everything into this space, it was just, I'll be at the corner on that one. It was just too much. So I'm having to make adjustments again. I have always been anti-spending freeze. When I heard that term, I was just appalled because I just could not imagine doing that logically. And the reason I couldn't imagine is because spending is it's tied to my emotions. And it hurt my feelings. I'm laughing because I get it that this is so illogical. but it's just the reality of how I work right now. Until I'm healed in the areas of emotional spending, it is what I'm going to have to work with. So I have to take emotion into account, but not bow down to it. Does that make sense? That sounds a little crazy, but it's just, oh, I love that. I was smart that day too. So that's where I am. I'm having to look at the space, and that kind of overrides the emotional part of the high I get from buying new stuff. So something great happened Friday, and I did go to my local craft store. It's called Buffalo Stamps and Stuff in Amherst. I did not buy paper. Oh, isn't that pretty? I had some good days. That's pretty. I can't wait to use that. I bought some dies. I bought the new Tim Holtz color blue ribbon, and I came home. It has 2 pieces, but that's pretty. I like that. I like petite florals in gingham. Gingham is a weak spot for me. It has been a weak spot for me for, I think, going on 2 years now. I just love it. I love it. And I have to be careful not to add it to every single kit, because that's kind of where my brain wants to go. Just gingham all the things. I love this piece of paper. I just think it's Graphic 45. It is from the Bloom collection. It's called Petal Postage. This can be used in so many ways. Definitely for scrapbooking, but also, you know, when you're making tags, and you could cut these out individually and add them as little elements to tags, to pockets, for junk journaling. I just love it. So in my junk journaling category, I also have a couple of these pieces of paper because I just love it. I love it. So how are you doing with challenges? I'd like to know, if you don't mind telling or sharing with me. Are you joining any? Does that help you, or do challenges make you feel frustrated? One of the things that in participating in challenges, this goes back to grace, is that you can't hold yourself so rigid to completing everything. Now, this is all from the Simple Story Sunshine and Blue Skies collection, so that's why it goes together so well. That wasn't a Priscilla was great that day. It was designed to go together. So when I won't speak generally, when I join a challenge, I do what I can, and getting anything completed is a yay moment. Hallelujah. You know what? Got something finished. Would I have gotten it completed if I hadn't joined that challenge? Who knows? Life is just nuts sometimes. Excuse me. Now I'm not going to kid you, I have tried 3 different times to record this, and I just lost the script because the first time when I was going through the page kits that I had put together, I was like, oh my gosh, was I smoking crack that day? I had some like really ugly kits put together. They didn't go together at all. So I was like, what was I thinking? So I didn't even rewatch it. I knew that I was not going to ever put that up for public consumption because I got tickled. I was laughing at what in the world I had done. That's pretty. So I immediately deleted it. Nobody needs to see that nonsense. I think these are so fun. These phone dials. Just to cut them out as embellishments. The paper is fun as a whole, but just to cut them out as embellishments and just for that little pop of something extra or a cluster base, I think they're so fun. And look at those petite florals. Isn't that delicious? Love those. All petite floral. I love petite florals, but I'm just going to tell you, in my opinion, not all petite florals are created equally. This is an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. It is from Paper Studio. It comes in a pack of, I want to say 100. It is so blooming. I mean, it is like, it's beefy. It is so, you hear that? It is a really beefy piece of paper. Very good quality. So if you're at Hobby Lobby and you run across the wood grain selection, I want to say there's 5 different colors. Buy it. It is a good buy. Another confession, since we're just bearing our souls here today. I did not like or have in my inventory, as Janet calls it, wood grain until she came into my life. And then I was like, I must have wood grain, all the wood grain in every color. And so I have built up my wood grain collection. And every time I look at it, it is just like, this is my homage to Janet. She has brought the wood grain into my life. Okay, this is going to slide and become a loud kablammer jam. Alright, now I think we can function. These are Kaisercraft, and isn't that green delicious? Isn't it just is so, I love the variations, the light and the dark tones, so pretty. And those like stamped images of leaves in the background. Oh, I love that. So pretty. That is my benchmark for if a page kit has been done well. If I'm excited about it, and this is a 1.5 years later for every single one of these. If I'm just as excited about it as I was the day I was putting it together, that's a good page kit. And all indications are there that next month I will be just as excited to continue to use it during the challenge. Now these are from 3 different collections. This is from Kaisercraft, this is Fancy Pants, and this is Dear Lizzie. That's fun. And this one is, it's a Christmas line from Chickanity, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it is. And that's the B side of it. I will use A and B. Or at least to give myself the opportunity to use A and B. Isn't that cute? I love text paper. Love text paper. So as far as like general categories of designs, I have wood grain, thanks to Janet, and I have gingham. That is, I just love gingham. I have text papers, and a new one for me is ledger. I've started pulling together, because I've touched almost all of my paper recently, I've started putting the ledger pieces to the side so that I can pull from it quickly when I want to add ledger to a page kit. So I think that's 4. Let's see. Wood grain, gingham, text, and ledger. Yes, 4. Now some people have like a stripes collection or section, or they have a polka dot section, and that isn't something that I find necessary, but that is cute as a button, isn't it? Oh, that's fun. I think I ended up pulling 40 kits. I had thought initially that I would pull 35, but I think I pulled 40. And that's what we're looking through. Pretty, pretty. My Mind's Eye Jubilee. Pretty, pretty. Love it. Oh, there it is. I think my husband is working on my air conditioner outside. I believe I just heard the ladder bump up against the side of the house. So I need to wrap this up because it makes me nervous when he's this high up on a ladder. He doesn't like for me to be a helicopter mom, but sometimes I'm a helicopter mom, and that's just that. And I love yellow and blue. Love it. I love it. I had this paper on top, and it's just to remind me. I have photos of, we call them lightning bugs in Alabama. I think some people call them fireflies. But I have some photos of that I'm going to do with this paper. I just need to pull some other papers to go with it. That is that. If you have anything that you want to share about finding your way to grace in your purchasing or collecting, I'd love to hear it. I'd like to know that I'm not alone in this mess. I'm looking across my desk and I just noticed this is my orange and chocolate orange, basically. My sons put this in my stocking each year, and this is what I have left. So I keep it at the edge of my desk. Now that I've moved, it just reminds me of my boys, and I'm looking forward to getting one in my stocking this year. I think that's all I'm going to share today. It was good chatting with you. Let's do this again soon.